Residents resort to graffiti to get their voices heard. And firefighters stage a dramatic rescue. Good evening, welcome to Win News. I'm Paul Taylor. First tonight, staff at the Rockhampton Meteorological Office are taking industrial action following 3 years of failed pay negotiations. The union says it is a last resort amid job insecurity as the Bureau moves to automate its services.
Bureau of Meteorology staff who are union members aren't responding to media requests or updating social media with weather information. When
a Chinese crude coal ship, which has been stranded off the coast of Gladstone for over a month, looks finally set to sail. The ship's been detained by Australian authorities after the 20-man crew stopped receiving wages. But the Australian Maritime Safety Authorities confirmed it has had positive discussions with the bulk carrier's owners over the course of the week. AMSA says the ship will resume its voyage in the near future. Authorities will carry out a final inspection before the tanker departs. Residents of Kawana who've been calling for a footpath to be constructed have gone to great lengths to have their voices heard. A bold message reading, "RRC, we want a footpath," has been spray painted on a fence along Farm Street. Rockhampton Regional Mayor Margaret Strelo says the property owner was required to construct a footpath. It's now in Council's hands as part of an intersection upgrade and has been in the pipeline for years.
The footpath really can't be installed until we at least know what the intersection is going to look like.
Council's in the design stage and the Mayor says she has asked for work to be progressed. No one has owned up to the graffiti yet. The Mayor has condemned the actions of the vandals, but no formal complaint has been made to Council. Katter Australia Party leader Robbie Katter has come out swinging against the state government. He's furious about its response to the findings of the Rural Debt and Drought Task Force. The Palaszczuk government wants to ensure that financial disputes between farmers and banks can be resolved with the help of mediators. But Robbie Katter says that doesn't go nearly far enough.
When he sat on the Rural Debt and Drought Task Force panel, Rob Katter watched strong men break down, describing their battles with the banks. Now,
Capricornia MP Michelle Landry has received the official National Party stock whip in a ceremony at Parliament House. Ms Landry has been appointed the Deputy Whip. Her main task is to help oversee party business and keep everyone in order. She received the whip alongside Dawson MP George Christensen, who was appointed Chief Whip.
It's about time we hand the whip over. This is what's going to happen to people if they don't turn up to divisions.
Ms Landry says she's very keen to crack the whip to ensure her fellow MPs attend party room meetings. Queensland Fire and Emergency crews scaled the cliffs of the Capricorn Coast today, carrying out daring rescue drills. Officers from across the region collaborated in the training, which was designed to simulate potentially life-threatening situations.
At the bottom of a sheer cliff face, a stretcher hangs in midair, the patient strapped in tight. A rescuer is secured by his side.
Queensland researchers are the first in the world to achieve a 50% success rate in frozen IVF cattle breeding. It's hoped the frozen embryo technology will soon be able to help genetically supercharge cattle herds across Australia and the world.
This is beef breeding of the future. Embryos with the most desirable genetic traits frozen to be used anywhere, anytime. A recipe which now has a game-changing success rate.
Now it's over to Hannah for a look at the rain we have on the way.
Thanks, Paul. Well, most of central and southern Queensland will pick up at least 25 to 50 millimetres of rainfall over the next 4 days. And now most of the rainfall is going to start to develop into Friday and Saturday. I'll be back at the end of the bulletin, though, with all the details.
See you then, Hannah. Thank you for that. Coming up next on Win Local News, new disability housing for Rockhampton, and the kids take on the country's best basketballers. Welcome back. You're watching Win Local News. The state government says 10 new homes to cater for people with a disability will be built in Rockhampton before July next year. $2.8 million worth of construction's currently underway. Rockhampton MP Bill Burns says they'll be built to high standards with the needs of seniors and those with a disability in mind. The project will support jobs for around 80 tradespeople across the city. Win News broke the story last week, and now more women have come out to share their problems with surgical mesh. Shine Lawyers is taking on their case. It's investigating the claims of more than 250 women across the country.
Jackie Hartman went public last week, sharing her personal battle with surgical mesh with Win News. Since our story went to air, her support group has been inundated with women who want to share their story too. Before we interviewed Jackie earlier today, she had just welcomed another 2 new members to the group.
It was back to school for the Cairns Taipans today when some of our youngest basketballers and their teachers challenged the NBL side to a game of ball. Crescent Lagoon State School fielded an all-star team to take on the men in orange, and they managed to show the NBL stars a thing or two. The Taipans are in Rockhampton to take on the Perth Wildcats as part of their pre-season fixtures. Time for sports now with Josh, and as we just saw, NBL action has returned to Central Queensland.
Sure has, Paul. The Taipans and the Wildcats will clash tomorrow night. Also, Rockhampton's women's softball team gears up for the state titles, and the Capras farewell a club stalwart.
This report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Experience the best.
Good evening, welcome back. Capras hooker Ian Webster has announced his retirement from the Queensland Cup after 115 games for CQ. The club stalwart says he made the decision several months ago when a ruptured ACL ended his 2016 season.
It was his 7th season in Capra's colours, and halfway through it, Ian Webster knew it would be his last.
As we heard earlier, the Cairns Taipans have arrived in CQ ahead of their pre-season double-header against the Perth Wildcats. Teams will have their first hit out tomorrow night at Hegvold Stadium before backing up at CQU on Saturday.
The Taipans will spend the next 6 days in Central Queensland. Rockhampton is the home base of the team's major sponsor CQU, and the university campus will host the side as it prepares for the season ahead.
Rockhampton women's softball team is preparing for the Queensland state titles at Redlands in Brisbane. Coach Merv Downing is confident the side can better last year's 10th place finish, but says the southeastern teams will be hard to beat.
Outlaws has been a dominant force in the local softball league all year, and that continued right through to the end.
Now to preview tomorrow's race meeting at Callaghan Park, here's Russell Leonard.
Well, punters, Callaghan Park race tomorrow. This meeting being presented to you by DC Motors. Not only do they have the race day, but the big sales extravaganza on Friday and Saturday. I can tell you the track's in great order. Kick things off with the running of the first at 1:20. Tony Penland started in his new role as CEO at the RJC here this week. We caught up with him at the track this morning. Well, the patriarch of the Penland family, your dad Ray and yourself, have raced a lot of good horses over the years. What's been the best of them?
Midnight Avenue would have to be the best, Russell. Multiple Brisbane winner.
Well, you're a keen form analyst. You run your eye over this 6-event card tomorrow. What's your best bet?
My best is our boy Houdini.
Early mail specials now for tomorrow's card, and we kick up in the opening event. Hero like the toppy, Bahini has said, will he overcome a lot of difficulties last start to win first up from a break. He was stopped in his tracks at a crucial stage in the straight. Still able to pull away and win. I do think he'll go back to back. Then go to race 4. Hero like TAB number 1 and Isis de Vega. I like this girl's debut run when she got back and closed late last start. I do think she'll be winning tomorrow. Well, there they are, punters. My good things for Rocky racing tomorrow. Bahini has Sid and Isis de Vega. You stick with them and it'll be a good old-fashioned fill-up. Remember to bet responsibly or catch you at the track. Good luck, good punting. Russell Leonard, Win News.
Thanks for that, Russell. That's the night in sport, Paul.
Beauty, Josh. Thank you very much for that. Coming up after the break, we're taking a look at weather with Hannah.
Good evening, everyone. We've got fine weather forecast around the region tonight, but a couple of showers may develop tomorrow for eastern areas. Now, later this week, we've got quite a bit of rainfall that is forecast to move in from the west. It should affect the central highlands on Friday, moving into the Capricornia region, then offshore during Saturday. I'll have all those details though shortly. Thank you to Kathy Draper for tonight's weather shot. This one was taken of some dark skies over Bluff, and hopefully we'll see plenty of where that came from later this week, and I hope you do get some much needed rainfall at your place. Now, if you have some weather shots you would like to share with us, just jump online and send me an email, or you can contact me via my Facebook and Twitter account. My address is up on screen. It's Hannah J. McEwen. Now, with a bit of cloud cover around last night and fairly high humidity levels, those overnight lows, as you can see, were on the mild side. 17 degrees for Rocky last night was 7 above normal and 7 degrees above average for St Lawrence as well with 18. If you were in Emerald today, we recorded 27 this afternoon. Springsure 13 overnight, 5 above average, and 25 was your top temperature. So as we round out winter across Queensland this evening, it is looking partly cloudy for eastern parts. We've got this main area of cloud moving in from the west, and with that a few showers and some storms this evening. They'll mostly be impacting the southern inland. Some of those may reach the southeastern parts this evening, but apart from that it is looking mostly dry across the state. We have got that main rain event forecast so later this week. An initial flood watch has already been issued for western and southern central Queensland, with that heavy rainfall likely to lead to flooding. You can see here we've got heavy rain will develop over the next 24 hours for western parts of Queensland, pushing inland into Friday and Saturday and moving offshore fairly quickly. And you can see that heavy rain extending down into parts of New South Wales as well. So tomorrow is looking partly cloudy. We've got some morning fog. A couple of showers are possible for northern parts of the district throughout the day. 26 degrees for Rocky, 15 tonight, 16 to 25 for Gladstone. For the Central Highlands, it's looking partly cloudy tomorrow. We'll see some rainfall develop later this week, though, a top of 27 degrees for Emerald and Clermont tomorrow. Easterly winds up to around 20 knots offshore, seas reaching 1.5 metres, and swell tomorrow up to around the 1 metre mark. At low tide for Rosalind Bay tomorrow is at 3:12, 3:18 for Gladstone. High tide tomorrow is at 9:15. We've got the sun rising in Rocky at 6:09, setting tomorrow at 5:47. So as we kickstart spring in Rocky, just a slight chance of some light morning showers, a top of 26 degrees in Rocky, 27 on Friday with some heavy rainfall starting to develop from the west. It will push through into Saturday as well, clearing though for Father's Day on Sunday. So have a wonderful evening, everyone, and Paul, back to you.
Hannah, thank you very much for that. Now for a look at tonight's top stories. Staff at the Rockhampton Meteorological Office are taking industrial action following 3 years of failed pay negotiations. Bold graffiti targeting Rockhampton Regional Council has emerged in Kawana, calling for a footpath to be constructed. And Queensland Fire and Emergency crews scaled the cliffs of the Capricorn Coast today, carrying out daring rescue drills. When's local and national news continues with the project next. If you have a story you'd like us to follow up, we're on Facebook and Twitter. I'll see you tomorrow night at 6. I'm Paul Taylor. Good night.